Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Talina. We have got an extremely overdue monthly wrap-up thing to catch up on. I've not filmed one since May and I've really wanted to, but I've been so freaking busy this summer. So we are about to do a May, June, July, and August wrap-up. I simply, every time that the month came to an end, I didn't have the chance to film. I was either gone on vacation, gone for the weekend. I really can only film on the weekends, so that's been a little tough. So here we are, doing a 4-month wrap-up. Let's get right into it. I have a friend coming over for another video I'm doing, which is so exciting. I'm gonna try and do this before she gets here, but we'll see if I can. Okay, I have a horrible memory, so we're gonna do the best we can with me trying to remember my thoughts with these books, but yeah, that's what I get for waiting for so long. Starting off with May, obviously. I started off May with the third book in the Zodiac Academy series. First of all, this is like one of my favorite covers just because of the blue. I love blue. Okay, this book, third book, The Reckoning. Well, I gave it 5 stars. That doesn't tell me much because I love this series so much. Every book has been 5 stars. So I don't remember much with this book specifically what happened, since I'm much further past, but just know I love the series and that every book has been 5 stars and I'm obsessed. And yeah, I can't say much anyways because it's not book 1. So there we have it, 5 stars. This one, my next one, was a joke read. I read it in an hour. If we recall in a wrap up a while ago, I read a Shrek romance book for my coworker to just make him laugh. So I kept it on, and again, to make everybody laugh, I read Stuffed. One of my buddies has a bookstore, a romance bookstore, and she stocks like these, what do you call it? I've seen the word before, but inanimate object romance? I don't know. Don't quote me on anything, but I gave this 1 star. Even for like a funny read, which I have one more in this video that I did. It's for jokes, right? Obviously, for me at least. I didn't really like this one. It was just odd. It was a little weird for me, but like I said, read it in an hour. Look at how long that is. Like this was yeah. Moving on. This one is not for jokes. I genuinely love the series so freaking much. This is book 10 of the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I gave this book 4 stars. I really did like this. This is the first one, as you can tell by the cover. This is the first alien romance. All the other ones have been the humans that landed on this planet with an alien. This one, our first alien FMC. We've seen her in all the other books, and she's just a troubled character. She's so angry. She doesn't like anybody. And you know from the other books, something happened between the two of them. She lost her child. She's very angry. She's grieving. They're not together anymore. This book was like their second chance romance, and I adored it. I actually did. I really loved seeing her blossom and seeing her just get her fire back and prioritizing herself and all of those things. This was really good. Had a good emotional depth. The other ones are kind of silly. I noticed as they go on, they kind of get more emotional, which I like. I genuinely do love the series. It makes me laugh so hard, and it's just a good time. It simply is. And then we have book 3 in the Devil's Night series. This is Kill Switch. This is Damon's book, and he is the most popular character in the series. This is the most popular book. I gave this one 4 stars. I did enjoy it. It was alright. It's extremely long. Very long. To be honest, I don't really think about the series as much. I'm not as obsessed as I thought I would be with the series. So, I don't know. There's that. I do love these covers, though. Worked hard to get them, but yeah, I did like Damon's story. To be honest, I don't remember much at all, but I remember liking it. And this is where the serious downfall started. I read Conclave, which is book 3.5 in the series, and I gave it 1 star. I don't know what it was, but I genuinely hated this. This was more so about the first couple, Michael and what's her name? Rika. I don't like them. I don't really like Michael. I don't like Rika that much. Hardly remember the first book, but I remember that this book specifically pissed me off. Michael pissed me off. It was stupid. I felt like it was very unnecessary. And from where Kill Switch landed off, I wanted more about Will, and that was he's in the next book. And this just kind of was completely unnecessary, unrelated, and dumb. So, and then on a much better note, I read book 4 of Zodiac Academy. This one is Shadow Princess, and let me tell you, I do remember this one. I remember this one's pain. I remember that I had to keep stopping it because I listened to the audiobook for all of these, by the way. I had to keep pausing it because I was like, stop causing my babies pain. Like, stop it. So I do remember that. Yeah, this hurt me deeply. Next, we have a book that I no longer have because I DNF'd it. I have My Best Friend's Honeymoon. This was one of my in-person book club's picks. It was the pick for May. I wasn't able to go to that book club or any of the ones in this video, actually, unfortunately. But yeah, I did DNF it after seeing that I was not enjoying it at all. It's in a video if you want to go watch that, but I thought that the premise and that the idea and everything was strong. I thought it was a strong idea, but the execution was extremely poor. And in my opinion, there was no chemistry between the two. And there was, I don't know, I just didn't feel connected to the characters at all. And I felt that once they did, like, hook up, it was so random. Like, it was so out of the blue for me. I was like, huh, and we're doing this now? Like, it just didn't flow for me. So I was going to finish it for the sake of book club until I saw a couple of my friends in the book club rated it 2 stars, 1 DNF'd it, and I was like, if I kept reading it would be a 1 or 2 stars, so I just didn't continue it. Moving on, I read Throne of the Fallen. This is book 1 in... What is this series called? I don't remember what this series is called, but it's a spin-off of the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy. Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy is about Wrath, and this series is about his brothers. So I did enjoy this book. It is, again, really long. I've noticed that when books are really long, it's either a hit or miss for me. I either like love it and want it to never end, such as with Zodiac. I could read 100 more of these chunkers. Sometimes though, it does lose my interest, and to be honest, this one didn't pique my interest 100% of the time. I gave this book 3 stars. I did enjoy it. I am obsessed with this cover. Like, it's gorgeous. I did love the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy, so it already had my heart in that way. I was already used to the world and all of that, so I do like that. But yeah, I felt like this could have been shorter, and that's my only complaint I feel like I have. Otherwise, it was a good time. I liked it. I'm excited for book 2. I'm waiting for it to come out in paperback before I read it. It is technically out, but it's in hardcover, so waiting to match. And then I read My Queen's newer release. It's not her newest, but it's the second newest. I read Deliverance by Caitlin Taylor. This is like a prequel book to her Gallows Hill trilogy. As I've talked about her so many freaking times, and I feel like she's in every one of my videos at this point of me talking about Caitlin, but she's an angel. I've met her multiple times. I love her so much, and I love her books. They are just incredible to me. They're so easy to read. They're such a good time. They are everything to me. This book, guys, I was crying, I was gasping, I was feeling every emotion in the book possible. So this was 5 stars. Again, I love going back to a world that I'm already used to. Like, I've already read the whole Gallows Hill trilogy. I love it. This was about 2 characters in the trilogy, and it starts before the trilogy, and it kind of lengths to catch up to the trilogy, I believe, like to the end of it. I love these characters. I hate one of them in the trilogy. You'll learn to love her in this. This is like her redemption arc. So yeah, 5 stars. I love Caitlin. I love this book. And last, for the month of May, I read, or did I? Nightfall. This is book 4 in the Devil's Night series. Technically the last novel. There's a little novella after this, but I DNF'd this book for now. I really honestly just needed a break after that novella, and this wasn't holding my attention at the moment. I still do think about this from time to time, which is a sign that I will come back to it one day. I'm interested in Will, and I really, really like the plot of this, of how they're setting up so far, at least. I got a chunk of the way in. I don't remember how far, but I just needed something different at the time. But I think I will come back to this one day. I forgot to say this at the start of every month. Every month I kind of want to do like a analytic thing, and then I completely forget. But I read 11 books in May. Moving on to June, I also read 11 books. Starting off so incredibly strong with probably my favorite, or at least one of my most favorite reads of this year, of ever. I have Releasing 10. This is book 6 in the Boys of Tommen series, and this is Lizzie and Hugh's story. Guys, this absolutely ripped me apart, put my heart back in, ripped it apart again, put it back in, and ripped it out again. This book was so floppy. This book is an emotional roller coaster. It is so much pain, so much love, but so much freaking heartbreak, and it's so good. I actually highly recommend that you go watch the video that I read this in. What video was that? I think it was just reading new releases. I cried, I laughed, I did everything in that video. I crashed out about this book. This was perfect to me, but also not, because it was so painful. And the way this left off, I also think about this every day, and I need their next book, like, now. Yeah, I have so many thoughts on this. If you want to go watch that video, this book is insane, and it hurts to think about it. Honestly, after reading that book is when I hit my summer slump. I've noticed every summer I kind of just, I think it's just the fact that I don't have time to read, and also for some reason, like, when it's hot out, I don't want to read. Whenever it's gloomy, I want nothing more than to read. So I think that's kind of weird, but yeah, releasing 10 put me into a slump, and then also I just hit my summer busyness and just all of that. But that's when I had 2 DNFs immediately after. Who would have guessed? I DNF'd Stalking Jack the Ripper and Watch Me. These are also in that video. First of all, for this, I just wasn't interested. I didn't care. I read almost halfway of this, I think, and I just think I don't need to continue with this world. Shatter Me was kind of good where it left off. I read it in high school, you know. I just don't think I needed this book, so. And then Stalking Jack the Ripper. This was my second time I tried to read it, and I just think it was the wrong time. This gives very strong fall vibes. This is the author of Throne of the Fallen, Kingdom of the Wicked, all of that. This is very strong fall vibes. I think I should try it again in the fall time, and not after reading a Boys of Tommen book, because it was immediate downfall. I knew that. And then I have book 5 of Zodiac Academy, 5 stars. We already know this. Pain, suffering, happiness, laughs, all the things. I love this series. Okay, it is many hours later. My friend came over, we hung out. All done now, but now we're on a time crunch for my boyfriend coming home in a little bit, so hopefully we can get this wrapped up. But we left off in June after Cursed Fates. I read Bourbon and Lies, and I also don't have this book anymore because I read it. I read the whole thing, but I didn't like it, so I sold it on Pango. I gave this book a 2.5, and now reflecting, like, I feel like that was kind of generous, and I would settle with this 2-star. I like the premise and the genre of this book. I really like mysterious small town romances. Like, the ones I have read before, I enjoyed, but this one did not hit. I did not like, I guess, the writing. I didn't like the flow. I didn't like the characters. Like, I didn't feel connected to them, and I hated how often bourbon was talked about. And I mean, I guess it's in the title, and it's a part of the story, but it should be like more of a backdrop item, I feel like. So I didn't like that. I don't know if I mentioned this, but this was my June book club pick for my in-person book club. So yeah, I didn't really like that one. And then a couple of my friends and I read A Dawn of Onyx together, and then jumped straight into the second book. Starting with A Dawn of Onyx. I loved this book. This was great. I was sucked in. I read it so fast, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave this one 4 stars, and yeah, I was actually surprised with how much I liked it. I mean, I just wasn't expecting it, to be honest. Like, one of my friends chose it for us, and I was like, okay, I've had this for a while, I'd like to read it, and I was like, wait, it is fire. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the second one. Take this with a grain of salt, because they both actually liked this one, and I just didn't. I think what happened was I found the main character she started really annoying me, and I don't know, I can't really remember. I just didn't like the plot as much, and it just wasn't good for me. Next up, I technically have a reread. I read Prince of the Arena. This is a little novella, technically book 4.5. I read this when this was just like a part of their newsletter for free. Yeah, I love the Beast of the Briar series a lot, and I've read up until this point. I just decided to get this and read it when it came out because they edited it and added in more scenes and whatnot. It had been a while since I had read it, so it kind of felt like a new story. But yeah, I gave this 5 stars. I love this world. I miss it and cannot wait for book 5. And then, my friend who was just here, I think I mentioned, but you'll see her in a video. Probably a long time from now, but I'm excited for it. Okay, anyways, the 2 of us started our Renaverse journey. I've read the Legacy of God series, she's read God of Malice, and then I found a picture of like the whole Renaverse and like the recommended reading order, and this is the first one. This is Cruel King. I believe this is like a prequel to the actual Royal Elite series. I gave this book a 4.5 stars. This was exactly what I was needing after kind of reading a couple books that weren't hitting so hard for me. Rena Kent also for me will always hit. I'm always in the mood to read one of her books. So yeah, this was great, and the start of my journey, which I've been loving so far, so yeah. And then second to last, I read The Dead Romantics. Also, all of these books so far have been in videos. I've mentioned it quite a few times, but just go check out my other videos. Most of these are mentioned. And yeah, I met Ashley Poston right after finishing this and got this signed, and she was awesome. So I wanted to get this read before I met her, and now I just have her newest release, Sounds Like Love, I think it's right there, to read, and then I'm all caught up. I love Ashley Poston so much. I gave this book a 4 stars. It wasn't as great as her other books, in my opinion. I just didn't love it as much, and I found the dialogue to be pretty cringy at times, but I also flew through this book. Like, every time I was reading it, I swear 50 pages went by, so that's always a bonus. And then last, for the month of June, I finally got through Quicksilver. I tried to read this once in the past, and I softy and F'd it, and then this is my friend's one of her top favorite books, so I had to read it. I listened to the audiobook. Ended up giving this one a 3 star. Honestly, I only cared about like this much of the book. This book's huge for not much at all to really happen, so I just didn't really like that. I was pretty bored 95% of the time, but I will say the ending really picked up and it really got me intrigued, so I'm interested to see how I feel about book 2. Okay, and now we're moving on to July. This is so boring. I read 11 books in July as well. Trust me, August is different. It's not good. But in July, I read 11 books, and I started off very strangely with another funny book. I got Pounded by Produce. One of my buddies has read this book before, and when she read it, I remember commenting like, the fuck? What is that? And so when I saw this in my friend's bookstore, I was like, why don't I give it a try? Honestly, of the funny books that I've read so far, I've only read 3, but this one was the best. It had the weirdest plot, but honestly, it was just the funniest plot. I don't know. This was interesting. I gave it 2 stars just because it was silly. It met its point. And then I sort of read Firefly Lane because I softy and F'd it. I promise it's a softy enough. Honestly, I wasn't in the mood. I was in a slump, still am in a slump, and this just wasn't it for me in the slump. To be honest, it just wasn't what I expected. I thought it was just 2 girls like going through life together as like best friends, and obviously they're gonna have ups and downs. But Tully, one of the girls in this, she was just a pain. I didn't like her. They just feel such intense jealousy for each other, like at least to the whole point that I was at, and I got a decent chunk of the way in. I just didn't like that. It's not what I thought. I mean, like, I expected them obviously to go through their down moments, and I understand why Tully is the way she is, but it was just, I didn't really want to read it in the moment, so putting it aside for now. And then I continued my Reaniverse expedition. I read book 1, Deviant King. Book 1, 2, and 3 are about one couple, and the rest of the series, all the other couples only get 1 book. Yeah, I love Aiden. He's great. I don't remember the specifics about the books, but spoiler alert, I read them all 3 together. So yeah, book 1. I have my journal down here if you're wondering why I keep looking down. I just have my ratings. Book 1, I gave 4 stars. Book 2, I'm obsessed with this cover, and I also gave this one 4 stars. And then book 3 was 5 stars. Yeah, man, I'm obsessed with Aiden. Still think about him every day. I really did like these. I really did. I was only going to read this one, and I didn't realize that like all 3 were about the same couple, and I just got so sucked in and just read them all back to back. And then we've got my June book club book, which was Court of Nightmares. I don't know how to sell this one. If you've read Kiss of the Basilisk, it was that and more. A lot more. Honestly, I enjoyed this in the beginning. It was a fun time. This is extremely spicy. Like, most of this book is just spice. But it had super fast chapters. Not much depth to it, so it was really easy to read, really easy to fly through. Yeah, I enjoyed it in the beginning because it was like such an easy, fun time, and then as it went on, I was like, okay, I'm bored. So with that, I gave this book 3 stars, and I wasn't able to make it to this meeting either, so I'm kind of disappointed because I wanted to know what everyone else thought of this. But yeah, I'm not going to continue this series, but it was certainly interesting. And then I went back to Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. This is technically book 1, but this one is as told by the boys. So kind of the guys that are the main problem in the first book. This is from their point of view. So it's interesting to see what they were going through and why they were doing what they're doing and all those things. This is the first book in the series that I gave 3 stars. One, it was fine. I'm just not sure that I needed extra, that I needed the same scenes kind of just from a different perspective. So, I mean, it was interesting, but if I was going to read it, I wish it would be shorter. Next up, I picked up a book that was just supposed to be a Kindle read on the side at work, because it's just so much easier to read on my Kindle at work than it is a physical book, because I can, you know, read while I'm eating and whatnot. And it 100% took me over and consumed my life, and that is A Love Letter to Whiskey. Like I said, it consumed me, and I stopped every other book until I finished this book. This is what I mean when, like, sometimes it's a chunker, and I don't mind that it's a chunker. I also couldn't tell because it was on Kindle. I gave this book 5 stars. It stressed me out. Like, my heart was racing the entire time I was reading this, and, like, this book, I know it's good when, like, in the morning before work, I get to work super early, and I choose to read instead of, like, watching YouTube or something because I'm exhausted. It's 4 in the morning, so that's what I did with this book, and that's how I know I loved it. This book stressed me out. I will say, I don't like what the characters did. If they only talk crap out or did things so differently, things wouldn't have gone the way they did, and that's always frustrating to read, but it was entertainment, so of course it's gonna be like that. So, and then another book that took me about an hour was this little novella. This is The Big Ass Party. This is book 5.5, and I again gave it 3 stars just because I didn't really care. I don't know. This one was just goofy. Like, their books are pretty goofy, but I don't know. I didn't need it. Okay, next we have my Caitlin Taylor book that I was talking about. This is the only one on her backlist that I had to read. And then now I just have to read her newest release, and I'm caught up. I gave this book a 3.75. I read it extremely fast. I read this, I think it took me 1 singular day, I believe. I was at our slow cafe and I just binged the whole book. That's what I mean. Her writing is so bingeable. I think this is the 2nd book of hers that I just read in 1 full day. It's great. This book again stressed me out. The reason I didn't give it 5 stars is just because I feel like you can tell that her writing has evolved over time, and she's an incredible writer. This one wasn't just hitting as hard as her newer books have for me. I feel like the same can be said for I think it's called the Alpha Light series here. But in her, like, newer works here, I've been obsessed. But it's not bad. It's just comparing it to the other books, I don't know. I try not to do that, but it just wasn't 5 stars for me. It was good. It was a good time. I don't think I was crazy about the characters, and yeah. And then my last book for July, I read Black Knight, and I did in fact give this 5 stars. This is one that I also either read in a day or in a day and a half. I would be more frustrated with this book if I feel like I didn't completely understand why Xander was acting the way he was. This man is a bitch in this book and in the other books, and you don't know why. Why is he being like that? And when you get down to it, it's a little frustrating because it's one of those, again, if you just talked, it wouldn't have happened. But at the same time, I feel like I can see his point of view and understand. I don't know. I did like this. I did. Yeah. The whole time I was just like, why does he hate her so much? But then he keeps doing these things. Yeah, I like this. And then from here, I haven't read any more of this series. I have 2 books in the epilogue left, so I'll be done with the Royal Elite series. Moving on to August. It is currently August 28th. We have just a couple days left, and I've read 3 books. 3 whole books. That is like a low for me. For an extremely long time. That's an extreme low. In my defense, I've been insanely busy. And like I said, in the summer, I just slump. Like, every time I'm reading, I'm kind of forcing myself to. However, talk about that last. I'm jumping my gun. We gotta talk about the other books first. Let me go grab them. I didn't set them out yet. Okay, first off, I read Every Summer After. I absolutely loved this book. It took me a long time to get through just because I was so busy and had to put it down for quite some time. I ate this up. I gave it 5 stars. I did not like the third act conflict. Yeah, I really didn't, but the rest of it was just so perfect to me. The vibes, the feeling of the lake, the feeling of summer in this book. And then Sam is perfect. This man is perfect. However, she is not. She's not. And if I let that get to me, it would lower my rating, but I chose not to just because everything else in this book was fantastic. So I'm excited to read One Golden Summer. Kind of see how things from this get resolved further, but I did really like it. And then next, I read Problematic Summer Romance. I did DNF it. Oh my gosh. So I was, if you can't tell by the theme of summer, I was going to read a bunch of summer romances for a summer like romance video, but man, I've been slumping with YouTube and with books, so I DNF'd it in hopes that I could get to the other books quicker, and then a little bit later just decided to give up on it because I just wasn't feeling it. I will probably come back to this when I'm in the mood. And then last but not least, I read Blood of Hercules, and this is another one that I tried to read in the past and I wasn't in the mood then. This time I was. I most certainly was. And this is our August club pick. I'm going to that next week. Excited to finally be back at one. But yeah, I'm really glad that they chose this one because like I said, I tried to read it and wasn't vibing with it. And I did the audiobook. It hit. It was great. I gave this a 4.75 just for the fact that I tried to read it before and I wasn't vibing with it. And it wasn't a 100% 5-star, but it was so close. So a 4.75 feels right to me. And then we're going to speak of the book that I will probably finish this month, and that is Heartless Beloved. It is behind me. It is book 2 in the North Shore series. Guys, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I've got about 2 hours left in the audiobook, so I'll probably finish it tomorrow or the day after. So we'll just speak about it now. I'll tell you, it's probably going to be a either 4-star or 5-star. I'm obsessed with it. I love Zai so much. He's so good. But also, I'm a little frustrated because, once more, they just need to talk. And this man just needs to tell the truth. Like, I already can tell you what the third act conflict will be. Bro is lying. Bro is confused. I love Bro, but he needs to get his shit together. So, we'll see how it ends. And that'll determine my rating. But yeah, I'm probably gonna finish that in the next couple of days. But I'm so glad I finally got this filmed, and now I gotta get cracking on editing it and getting it up there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this extremely long wrap up. And here is to me finally coming back and making more videos because I miss it. I just need to stop being so busy. Alright, I will see you in my next video.